Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today we are looking at the subject God elected leader. We read from 1 Samuel 8 verse 6 and 7. But when they said, "Give us a king to lead us," this displeased Samuel. So he prayed to the Lord, and the Lord told him, "Listen to all that the people are saying to you. It is not you they have rejected, but they have rejected me as their king." It was never the intention of God for his people to be led by a king. He himself selected judges and prophets who judged the people justly and could be consulted to give direction when the people were faced with challenges. The judges in turn selected people to be in charge of clans and families, people who were upright from among the people. Because of the desire to be like others, they demanded for a king. And God picked a man who had the qualities of a king that they could look up to. He looked strong and physically appealing to the people. That is how the other kings of the other nations looked like. He said that by rejecting the prophets, the people had rejected his leadership and selected for themselves a king who will rule over them, tax them, and make them work for him. Note this: although he is the one who selected the person, he said that they picked for themselves a king, meaning that he never intended for them to have a king. Because he knows the way kings rule over their people would be difficult for them. Does this mean that all kings that are written about in the Bible were not selected by God? I believe that these were the best men that could be king. Note: having a king was not God's plan. But because people kept on crying for a king, he gave them the best he could, knowing very well that they will let them down and rule over them with an iron hand. Notice that every time there was a king on the throne, there was a prophet, that is God's way of leading, that was available to give the king direction. It was up to the sitting king to follow the leadership of the prophet. I believe that these kings would have made noble men or men of honor in Israel if they were not kings, just as we read of Job and other noble men who existed in Israel. But the king factor always came with additional temptations. If you notice them, before they became kings, they were men of honor who worshipped God and practiced righteousness. God allows leaders in position because it is what the people want, not because it is the best thing for the people. Most of the time, people say that it is God who put people in positions of leadership. I bring it to you that it is men who select other men and put them in position of leadership. God allows it because it is what the people want. He, however, warns that these people will rule over you with an iron hand, will collect taxes from you, and make you work for them. We see this over and over again during elections, after elections, and throughout the terms of the people we put in authority. There is a lot of complaining and murmuring against the leaders we shouted, screamed, and voted for. This can also be said of the church as well. The leaders in the church also desire to be like other leaders of the nation. They no longer just want to give direction and judge issues justly. They want to have an elevated position where they are called special names and given special gifts. Some are called presidents and others are called kings. Once this spirit gets into a leader, they want to be treated like a king. Regular respect is no longer enough. They ask for special treatment. They do not have the spirit that was in Elijah that rejected the gift of Naaman, but they have the spirit that was in Gehazi, who was enticed by the gift. This does not negate the fact that we are a royal priesthood, meaning that we are actually priests of a royal lineage. The fact is, all of us are royalty, and therefore no need to have another king over us. We, however, need God's guidance and direction in order to live in harmony with each other. If only we do not clamor to be like every other nation, we will live in harmony and peace. The desire to be like others is what is causing a lot of suffering in people's lives. We are not like others. We are a peculiar people. Desire to be peculiar and different. You will live only on the direction of God and will judge all things justly, and therefore live in peace and harmony with all men. The peace within you will cause an effect of peace around you. Try it today. Do not try to conform to everything that is of the world, and you will discover that you have more peace within you, because you will only follow that which is just, that which is right, and that which is according to you and according to the leading that is in you of peace. And that will bring you more peace, and there will be peace around you. Everyone around you will notice the peace that comes from you, because there is no competition to be like any other person. But you will be content with who you are and work to make the best of who you are. Thank you for listening to today's word. I hope that you have learned something and that you will again tune in next week. Bye.